I would like to introduce our speaker for today, Dr. Julie Chaya, who is the Director of Community Health and Prevention Sciences at Richland Public Health. She has over 10 years of experience in obtaining and leading federally and state grant-funded longitudinal research projects and community health initiatives. She has advanced level training in both quantitative and qualitative research methodologies and has assisted a number of organizations with needs assessments and program evaluations as a research consultant across the US. Her innovative, award-winning work has been published and presented nationally, and she is highly experienced in working with and developing health education materials for diverse populations. Dr. Chaya holds an MA in Human Development and Family Studies and an MEd and PhD in Health Education and Promotion from Kent State University. So we are lucky to have Julie joining us today, and I'll pass things over to her to get started with the presentation.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Derek, for that warm introduction. And I want to welcome you all to Mansfield, Ohio. We are located centrally in the state, smack dab in between two major cities of Cleveland and Columbus. So when I first moved here to Richland County, I thought to myself, well, I wonder, what kind of programs and initiatives could I possibly get associated with here in the county? And what type of unique collaborations could we possibly explore to really disseminate some crucial public health information that's not only fun, but also effective in our communities. So have received a couple of grants over the past 2 years since I've been here at Richland Public Health, and one that's been very supportive and significant for a lot of this collaborative work, especially with the libraries in our community, has been through the National Network of Libraries of Medicine. So I really appreciate Derek working with me on these projects and being a very supportive coach, as well as the funding that we've received from the National Network of Libraries of Medicine. And just to give you a little bit of a preview of what we've been doing with the library, specifically with the Health Information Outreach Award that we received last year for health information kiosks, I also wanted to go over another grant opportunity that we've had over the past couple of years called the Communities Preventing Chronic Disease Grant, which has also helped stimulate a lot of this collaborative work that the health department has done with our local library. So this is the Mansfield/Richland County Public Library. This is the main branch that's located in downtown Mansfield, Ohio. They also have a few other branches, so there are 9 in total throughout the entire county, and they're located in very diverse areas. So we have one in an urban setting, we have a few that are in a suburban type of setting, and then the remaining branches out in rural areas of the county. So since we are trying to accommodate the needs of different population areas in the county, we've really had a neat opportunity to explore how we can take some public health issues that we've had in the area and effectively get education and intervention type of programming to everybody that lives and works and plays in the Richland County, Ohio area. So the first initiative I wanted to talk briefly about is the Healthy Meeting Policy that we implemented at the MRCPL library branches. So with this particular grant opportunity, what we did was we developed a contract that the library branches would sign with us saying that they were going to make healthy food and beverage choices the easy choice during events and meetings, whether that was like a staff meeting or maybe there was a community event going on, so that everybody had access to healthier, nutritious types of foods. Because for any of you out there who are from the Midwest or from down south, you know we love food. And especially really junky, sugary, greasy, delicious food. And one of those ways that we show each other that we're very caring and want to be contributive during meetings would be to bring those super yummy foods or super easy to make or access foods such as like pizza and pop. So with this particular policy, we were able to come up with an agreement that during meetings, there would always be some sort of a water option, making sure that you have some kind of whole grain and fruit and veggie option. And some of the tweaks don't have to be, oh, you know, you can't have anything delicious and exciting at the meetings to consume. You could, you know, simply offer smaller portions, or maybe have a smaller serving utensil or smaller plates so that people aren't as inclined to take huge portions of things. And maybe offer like a physical activity type of an option. So maybe, you know, halfway through the meeting, take a walk or do a couple of jumping jacks, or maybe meet up after work and take a hike or something like that in one of the local parks. So this is just a breakdown of basically what that contract looks like. And again, as Derek mentioned before, a lot of these things that I'm talking about today, including the slides of the presentation, I'm more than happy to provide you with templates and examples of all the things that we've done over the past few years here in Richland County. But I just want to make note that one of the most important things when we're doing these types of initiatives with community partners is that we're tracking data and we are taking surveys and constantly assessing and evaluating how effective these programs are. So as you'll see in the compliance and review box on the far right, there is a survey and assessment and evaluation plan that is occurring annually. So just want you all to be aware that if you want these types of initiatives to be sustainable in your neighborhoods, that is one of the best ways to keep up to date on these types of things, receiving that feedback and pivoting and making tweaks when necessary, so that the program can be successful for not only 1 year, but for years to come. Another initiative out of this CPCD grant was Water First for Thirst. So this was to make water easily available, accessible, and everybody's first choice when they're thirsty. So with this particular water fountain unit, we made sure to purchase one that had a refillable water bottle station. So regardless if you're an employee of the library or if you're a patron, anybody could go up and fill up their water bottle, or if you don't have a bottle, you can take a nice cool drink from the water fountain. So in the previous example with the policy, that's something that doesn't cost any money. That's really simple to implement. With this particular initiative with the water fountains, these were somewhere in the like $900 range. So it's a little bit on the pricier side. However, if you do have some sort of a grant or other community partners that want to do like an in-kind donation or would like to contribute so that everybody in the community has easy to access things, this is a way to do it. Another initiative was our free blood pressure cuff loan program. So with this particular program, this was something that we were taking a look at what were the needs of our community. And one of them has been cardiovascular issues, high blood pressure, high prevalence of stroke, heart disease, things in that category of health. And we thought, okay, what would be a great way to easily get blood pressure cuffs to people? Because you're not always at the grocery store or at the pharmacy to use those things. Sometimes you want to be able to do your blood pressure in the privacy of your own home. So what we did was we decided to create a kit that included an electronic blood pressure monitor, an arm cuff, batteries, antibacterial wipes, all the equipment that you would need to easily take your blood pressure at the library or in the comfort of your own home. So it would just be like as if you were checking out a book or a video. You could just sign out the kit. And it also included a number of pieces of information, as well as a record-keeping wallet pamphlet that you could track your numbers. And if you signed out the blood pressure cuff for a week and wanted it again the next week, you just had to go in and return it and re-sign it out. But this is what the kit looks like. And it is all housed in a toolbox that we purchased for about, I don't know, $20 at the Home Depot. So in total, this initiative only cost about $150 per kit. It was a little bit less than that, but it's something that's very effective, doesn't cost much, has very little maintenance to it, and has been rather popular with our community members throughout the county. One other thing I would like to mention about when you're pursuing these types of projects in the community is that advertising is something that is very costly. So this is an example of one of the billboards that we had posted around town. But when you are budgeting for these types of initiatives, please do keep in mind that if you're doing billboards or radio ads or newspaper ads, all those things add up rather quickly. One of the ways that we've found to be a little bit more cost effective has been social media. However, we do still end up paying a little bit of money, such as like a $50 boost, to try to enhance the marketing to our specific Richland County targeted audience area. The final program that I wanted to briefly talk about from the CPCD grant is the bike loan program. So as you see in the picture here, through that grant, we purchased a number of bikes. This is just one example. We also purchased recumbent bikes as well as trike bikes that are branded with the Richland Public Health as well as the MRCPL logos. These do have a basket so that if you're cruising around town doing any kind of shopping or grab a bite to eat, that you can carry things such as water bottles and groceries in there. It has a lamp in case you're out and about a little bit later in the evening. Well, you know, when we have like daylight savings time in the fall and it starts getting darker a little bit sooner. We wanted to keep safety first. Additionally, each bike comes with a bell so people know that you're coming down the road. We also purchase helmets, and to keep tabs on these things, there's also a GPS monitoring system attached to each one of the bikes so that they don't mysteriously go missing somewhere in a cornfield, or if somebody decides to, you know, put it on top of a building or some other kind of interesting place, we know where to find it. Currently, these bikes are only located at 2 branches of the library, and we're hoping to implement more in the future. It's been really nice that the library has been accommodating of space because the bikes are, you know, a little bit big, and we didn't necessarily want to keep them outside during all the 4 seasons that we have here in Ohio. So something else to consider is for some of these things that are larger items, you want to keep them stored safely in a spacious area. These bikes, on average, they cost about $800 a piece. One of the most costly things was the branding on each one of the bikes. So if you're not worried about doing wraps on the bikes with having your logos, or if you want to go a cheaper route of utilizing stickers, that's another way around cutting down on costs. But with the bikes, they can only be checked out for the day. There's no overnight checkouts, and they need to be returned to the branch before closing time. And they have to be returned to the same branch just because we don't want things getting lost. The reason why we chose these particular branches was because both of them are located on the Richland County bike trail. So, and they are also pretty convenient to get to if you want to go to like the downtown Mansfield area or some of the other shopping centers in town. It's pretty accessible, but again, these are only available during the spring, summer, and fall months. And so far, knock on wood, we've had great success with this program. We haven't lost any bikes or haven't had any damages or anything like that. And we're looking very forward to possibly expanding this program in the future, especially because we are very adamant here in Richland County about making this area walkable and bikeable. Okay. So now for the remaining time of the webinar, I'm going to focus on the Health Information Kiosk program that was funded through the National Network of Libraries of Medicine. So, like I mentioned before, we're pretty diverse in this area when it comes to our community members and our accessibility to things. So in our urban downtown Mansfield area, this is where we have a lot of low socioeconomic status, low education levels. We also have our higher concentration of our African American community located in this area, as well as our homeless community. So one of the places that they're receiving the majority of their information and have access to the internet is in the library now. In the rural areas, a couple of years ago, there was an article that came out and deemed rural Richland County as an internet desert. So folks who live out that way have a really hard time using the internet. If you don't have the means to afford a microcell or pieces of technology, one of the ways that you're utilizing the internet is by stopping by one of the local library branches so that you can Google things or get maps to somewhere or something like that. So the whole premise of this particular project was to ensure that anyone in Richland County can have access to medically accurate, age-appropriate, and relevant healthcare information. Because I don't know about you all, but as soon as I have something that comes up, you know, you immediately run to Google and you're doing a search and you're consulting Dr. Google. saying, why do I have this weird lump on my forehead, or whatever the case may be. And when you get the search results back, it's not always necessarily the most accurate information that you're receiving back. It might be an ad that comes up, or some other kind of solicitation for some other type of a healthcare service, or maybe an article from Cosmopolitan is the first thing that showed up, just because of what people's internet search histories have been on Google lately, and it's becoming the most popular search result that people have been clicking on. So NIH, CDC, all have tremendous resources that we can utilize to consult for medical information, or maybe for research, things of that nature. So why not provide individuals the opportunity to really become aware of these resources and know how to use them effectively? So this is one example of what a health information kiosk looks like. We were able to purchase one for each branch of the libraries here in Richland County, so there are 9 in total. The kiosk consists of one iPad, a kiosk that we branded. This is just one example of what a kiosk looks like. There's some that are desktop units, and there's another one that is a wall-mounted unit. And then there's also a user guide binder that we created here in-house to go along with it. So for one library alone, it only costs about $536 to make one of these health information kiosks. They were really simple to put together, to order. For the iPad, we didn't pick like the latest and greatest iPad Air that cost almost $1,000 a piece. We tried to pick something that was going to be durable and long lasting, since there's so many members of the community that are utilizing it. So this is like the $300 version of an iPad. And also you'll see that with this unit, as well as the desktop units, they are movable. So in the instance that you want to move it to another location in the library, or use it for another purpose, you can move them. If you want them to stay put, there is also an option to bolt them to the floor, or to cable tie them to something so that they don't go wandering off. But the majority of these units are located near a librarian, and if you go hustling out of the library in one of these things, somebody's going to notice you pretty quickly. Also, the technology for this, well, we just simply used NIH and CDC, NIA, a number of federally supported apps and websites, and lock them into the iPad. So you're probably wondering, well, how do I lock something on an iPad? Well, there's something called kiosk mode on every Apple iPad out there. So whatever you set up on the iPad and then you lock it in kiosk mode, it will stay put. And if you need to rearrange things, or maybe an app becomes out of date, or nobody's really using it and you need to delete it and put something else there, you can take the unit out of kiosk mode so that you can change things. The way that we've been tracking usage of the kiosks has been with the Apple ID. So each iPad has a unique Apple ID, and we have like the main account that is linked to all the rest of the Apple IDs on the kiosk. So if somebody happens to click on an app on genetics, we'll see that, and it's all real time. And it's been really nice that we've been able to track those metrics every day to see what people are using and how often they are using them. Also, we included a satisfaction survey. So we simply created a SurveyMonkey survey. And then since there's literally an app for everything, we just created a SurveyMonkey app link on there for our specific survey, so that after somebody interacts with the kiosk, they can go on there and tell us about their experience. For the maintenance of these units, I was trying to be super cognizant of and also conscientious of how much time and effort that the library and the librarians would have to put into this. So we just simply needed to be able to plug in. It's very energy efficient, and all it needs is a wireless internet connection. And it's really nice that the MRCPL branches have a IT division, so that if there is some kind of funky thing going on, they can contact them to help out. But we've been more than happy to accommodate with any kind of tech issues during the funding period as well as beyond, so that everybody is still able to enjoy the kiosks. So in order to get everybody acclimated and of the kiosks, we held a number of different trainings. So pictured here on the left-hand side is Shannon Nelson. She's our coordinator for the Community Health and Prevention Sciences Division. And she was traveling all over Richland County to get 43 librarians trained on the kiosks. She also trained 23 healthcare providers and also facilitated 9 workshops at each branch of the library for community members. So it was a really nice experience to go through the iPad and demonstrate what each of the 20 apps and websites are able to do, give kind of a preview of how you can really utilize those resources and tools to their full potential. And we were really shocked that the healthcare providers were super interested in this initiative. They were just like, wow, this would be great if I could have one of these things at the office to share with patients, to go through things, or to show them, hey, if you want more information on something, that you can utilize the National Institute on Aging website to learn more information on a particular geriatric health issue, or for their own personal research as a healthcare provider. So seen here on the right is Dr. Celia Flynn. She's a pediatrician here in Richland County, and she's constantly doing all sorts of research and publications, and she had no clue about some of the resources available through the federal government to make her life easier for her own personal research, as well as sharing information with her patients. So also, speaking of surprises, the librarians were very welcoming of this program. We were so glad to see that everyone was excited about this initiative and picked up on it rather quickly. And hearing about some of the librarians, taking the time out of their day to help patrons out, bring them over to the health information kiosk and go through with them on some apps and websites that they could use at the library, but that they could also use in the comfort of their own home. So a lot of times librarian staff or myself or Shannon were directing people on how they could download these apps on their cell phones or their iPads at home, and how to access these websites on their computers. So it's been nice to see that everybody in Richland County is getting connected to these resources. So on the right-hand side here, you're going to see a desktop unit of the health information kiosk. And this is only a couple of the apps that we made available on there. There's a few pages that you can swipe through. We tried to make this as easily understandable and accessible as possible. So we tried to make the apps big enough so that you can see them. Also, that most people have a pretty basic knowledge of touchscreen technology, but again, we had a user guide binder that goes along with each one of them. So if you are an individual who's not quite sure about what an app is or a website or how to use an iPad, it's literally a hand-holding, walk you through step-by-step direction guide as to how to use the kiosk and what each of these apps do. So our main goal was to try to mold our community members into well-informed healthcare consumers and to be advocates of their own personal health. So I just wanted to highlight a couple of the survey responses that we received after the workshops from the healthcare providers and the librarians. 60% of the healthcare professionals strongly agreed that the workshop training improved their ability to find useful health information. There was 100% of them who would like to use at least one of these tools with their patients in the future, and 100% of healthcare professionals also strongly agreed that they would like to share these resources with colleagues of theirs or with their friends and family. And from the librarian staff side, 71% of them strongly agrees that they would use at least one of these tools with patrons in the near future. We didn't have anybody that disagreed with any of the survey questions, so it's nice to see that, again, everybody had a positive outlook on this program. So in addition to that, we're now providing access to healthcare information to everybody that's in our urban as well as rural areas where they might have the most difficulty having access to a technology device that's connected to the internet. This has also been an opportunity to help improve health literacy and for folks to be happier and healthier individuals in our area. So now that the funding period has ended, we've all been saying, well, what comes next? Well, again, program sustainability is something that's extremely important to me, especially when you've had grant dollars invested into this, that it's not a one and done deal. How do we keep this truck rolling down the road? So some of the things that we've been talking about through the library system is how can we possibly change some of this stuff up? How can we do more programming and have more awareness of these resources and tools from the federal government and make sure that people keep on using these things? Well, again, like I mentioned before, these units are movable. So for instance, one of the units is going to be making a tour of the county. Its first stop is at our 211 Information Center. So folks can utilize the health information kiosk there. Some other places that the units may go are to like community health fairs, community gatherings, or programs that the library hosts outside of their main branch. So that's another way to gain exposure and let people try things out. Again, how I mentioned before that once you lock the iPad in kiosk mode, that's not the end-all be-all. You can revise and change these things. So we're looking into what other apps could we put on there that library patrons or healthcare providers would be interested in utilizing. Maybe we're going to move the kiosk down to children's or to a teen section and see what type of apps and websites we can utilize down there for kids and teens to interact with. Additionally, we're looking into, future grant applications and programming mechanisms that we can continue to do. And we're going to keep on advertising and sending out information on the kiosks, as well as infographics, keeping everybody engaged and aware. I'm trying to be as cost effective as possible with this. It's been pretty nice that the majority of the costs were the startup costs with actually purchasing the units. But after that, we're pretty well set. We can utilize these, all over the county, whether it's in the library or one of these traveling shows, so that everybody can participate in this initiative. So with that, I know I covered a whole slew of things. So if anybody has any questions, or if you have any comments or feedback, now's the time for you to ask. I know Derek mentioned before that you can type your questions in the chat box, and he'll ask them to me, and I'll see if I've got an answer for you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Julie. We've got a couple questions coming in, so I'm gonna start there. And for everyone that's joining, please do. Julie and I had chatted about trying to leave extra time for questions than what we do with some of our webinars, because we felt like this was going to be a presentation that would spark a lot of questions about how the programs were implemented and all of that. So do type in your questions, and we'll get to them as they come in. The first one, is this being recorded? Yes, this is, and I will send a link out to that recording probably in about a week to everyone who registered. So the first question is, how are the bikes in the bike loan program maintained? Who handles repairs, flat tires, etc.?
For sure. So, and that was something that we were concerned about when we made the investment. Oh, Derek, am I unmuted now?
Yeah, you're unmuted.
Okay. It said I was muted. Okay, so that was something that we were all concerned about before making this big investment in the bikes, was how are we going to maintain the bicycles and keep that program sustainable. So again, luckily we haven't had anything happen just yet. If something does happen, the health department here, we've been more than happy to accommodate any type of issues that might come up with the bikes. We also expressed to the library when we did purchase these items, that if there were issues, that some of these things they might have to take care of as well. So just to be prepared that if something does go wrong, if we're not able to help out, that they might have to utilize some cash to fix things up. But we also come from a community that's very sharing and caring. So we do have a number of bike repair shops and just, general bike shops in the area. So that if there was something that came up, I'm not shy about reaching out and saying, hey, could you possibly help us out with one of the bikes that we have at the library to fix something up. Some of the things you're able to prepare for, such as like the fix a flat bike tire kit. Some of those things don't cost that much, and it's pretty easy to repair. Additionally, through that same grant, throughout the county, we purchased a number of bike fix-it stations. So if you are out on one of the trails or out in the park or even in the downtown Mansfield area, if you visit one of the Richland Public Health bike fix-it stations where you can pump it up with air and do some basic tune-up type stuff, that's available as well.
All right, and we have two other questions about the bike program. So the first one is, how did you pick or find your vendor for the bike program? And the other is, do you require patrons, or is there a waiver that they have to sign for the bike program?
Okay. So when it comes to vendors, we always try to keep it local, like I was just mentioning about, you know, being a caring community and trying to help each other out. That's usually our first resource that we try to tap into to work things out. I know through other initiatives that I've done in the past where I'm trying to be conservative of costs, I have reached out to potential corporate sponsors to provide bikes, and you never know. It doesn't cost anything to ask, and it doesn't hurt to ask. The worst thing a place can tell you is no. So you just have to kind of get over those little bit of nerves and butterflies in your stomach about, oh, geez, I'm going to ask somebody if they can provide a monetary donation or a bike donation. But sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and just try. You never know who's going to be willing to help you out. But also sometimes too, there's companies who are out there who are just getting started in the world, startups and stuff like that. They're another great place to tap into because they're trying to get their name out there and branding and all that good stuff. So that's been another helpful strategy to try to acquire very expensive equipment and programming materials. For a waiver, yes, you can have a waiver. I do have examples of waivers as well that folks can sign, but again, that's up to the library system if you want to have that legal form or not associated with the program.
All right, so we've got a few more that have been coming in. Who first initiated each of the programs?
Okay, so a lot of this stemmed from the health department, and that's because if we had the grant funding available, and when you're looking through the grant, it depends on what kind of grant it is. So some of these grants, they already have it preset in the requirements or in the goals and objectives that you have to provide certain types of deliverables. So with the CPCD grant, that was a deliverable-based grant. So it would say in there, you have to do some type of initiative on diabetes. You have to do some type of initiative on cardiovascular health, et cetera, et cetera. So this was something that the health department said, okay, who would be a really cool partner in the area that would like to not only do this initiative with us and get, you know, basically free stuff, but also have the biggest reach into those priority need areas. And for us, the library has been that place. Now for the health information kiosk program, that was something where a call for proposal came out for health information outreach, and we're sitting there thinking to ourselves, okay, well, who would be a really good partner for doing health information, you know, outreach? What would be a great way to get people connected to these National Library of Medicine resources? And I mean, that one was kind of like a no-brainer that, okay, we're going to definitely utilize the library. But I'm not going to say that it's always the public health department's idea, because as of late, and while we've been doing some of these initiatives, the library has come over to the health department and said, hey, you know what, it's been awesome doing, you know, all these different things with you lately, and we've been thinking about it, and it would be, you know, super cool if we did a story walk program or an opioid program. You know, how can we facilitate this? What kind of funding do you have, or funding that you don't have, and come up with creative ways to get that programming out there and reach out to community members.
Great. And then for the kiosks, is there a list of the 20 apps and websites available somewhere to review, or are you able to share those?
Yep, that's not a problem at all. Again, I can even include the user guide that we created in the binder that goes along with each one of the kiosks, so that everybody's able to see the websites and apps that we included. They're quite a mouthful, and there's a lot of them. And as we've been going through this process, we found that, you know, sometimes those apps go by the wayside and we have to delete them, and then other new ones come out. So it's been really fun to play around with the apps and the websites and see them get put to really good use.
Great. So you will share those with me, and then I can I can send links out to those for everyone who registered. So we'll make sure everyone can get access to them.
Okay.
So that was the last question we have. A very nice comment from Naisha Brooks about all the good work that you're doing. So I'll make sure you get a copy of that. Nice.
Oh, great.
And, I do want to just ask, I just have a quick question here, and just to give everyone else, you know, one last chance to submit something if they do. But I wonder, going back to the question about kind of initiating the conversation, do you have, because I know we have a mix on the call here of people who work in public health, but also we have librarians and public librarians and people who work in the community. Do you have tips maybe, or a tip for how someone in the library system might engage or even start a conversation with public health? Like, who would they reach out to, or how would that conversation start? And vice versa, maybe with your experience in public health, how you have approached the public library.
For sure. So for me, I grew up in the Cleveland area, and I spent a lot of time in the Cuyahoga County Public Library System. And growing up, that was just a wonderful experience. My mom always registered me for every program, and we went to all sorts of different events that they had going on there. I volunteered at the library for a number of years, and the library has always been a very special place to me and very near and dear to my heart. So when I came down here to Richland County, I just thought to myself, boy, what a better place to do a lot of these really unique and innovative programs than with the library system down here. And when I toured around the area and saw how many of the community members throughout the entire county regularly utilize the library, I mean, this was just an opportunity that I could not pass up. So I'm somebody who's rather gregarious and not shy. So I made a point to meet the library director and deputy director down here in Richland County as soon as I could, so that we could have a lot of successful health education and promotion programming in the area. For other folks who are out there in the healthcare community as well as the library community, again, it doesn't cost anything to ask, and you can think of the most wildest thing and really just give somebody a call at your local health department or local hospital system and say, hey, you know, this is something that we've been seeing at the library lately, or have gotten quite a few inquiries about from patrons that, they need help looking up something or have questions about something, and create a program from that. Programs don't necessarily have to cost money. So sometimes it's just simply if you can take an hour out of your day to facilitate a discussion group, or maybe have a book club, which is this is another NNLM plug. There is a book club initiative that they are currently promoting, where you are provided a book, or I should say a specific book monthly, so that your book club at your local library, or even at your healthcare organization, could facilitate that discussion and really open people's minds up to different aspects of health, and improve upon health literacy in the area. Grant funding always helps as well. I'm somebody who constantly is on the lookout for grant opportunities that come through my inbox. So as soon as I see something that comes up, I contact a local partner and I say, hey, this is something that came through my inbox lately. Is this something that you'd be interested in doing over the next year with me or so? Because these are a bit of a time commitment. So you just want to make sure that not only your organization, but the organization that you're partnering with has the time and the staff and the resources available to do some of these collaborative efforts. So I think that answers it all. Is that right, Derek?
Yeah, no, that's.
You had a big question.
Yeah, I know it's a big question for a couple minutes, but that's definitely helpful. And then I think we'll do one last question that came in here, which is which project was the gateway to developing the relationship with the library?
Let's see. I know before I came here to Richland Public Health that there were a couple of initiatives that were going on already, whether that would be like programming. But out of the ones that I just presented, the one that I had the biggest investment with was the health information kiosk program, and that one has really bridged our relationship between the health department and the library system to really make it into a strong partnership, and has really stimulated further thoughts and ideas about future programming and grant collaboration efforts and whatnot. But I will say that with some of these initiatives, that it was kind of like, well, we're going to purchase the stuff and fulfill a deliverable for the grant, and it's pretty easy to say, okay, library, it's your responsibility now. That, to me, that's not the investment that you want to make with these types of partnerships, as well as with the grant funding. So another piece of advice is that if you're going to do some of these initiatives with each other, that you make a I don't know if I want to necessarily call it a promise, but like a commitment that you're going to try to the best of your abilities to keep some of these things going in the long term.
All right, thank you so much. Julie has shared her contact information here, and it has let me know that she's open to answering questions. If you didn't think of one to ask today, feel free to reach out to her as well. And thank you so much, Julie. This was fantastic. We are thrilled with the work that you've done through the funding that we've provided, as well as the outreach work that you've done with the libraries. with the funding that we haven't provided, and looking forward to the sustainability of those projects moving forward.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Derek, and thanks everybody for listening in. And again, feel free to contact me. Just because I'm located in Richland County, Ohio, doesn't mean that some of us can collaborate or partner in the future with public health and library type of initiatives. So again, I'm very open-minded and willing to help out to make sure that everybody has a high standard of living, quality of life, and super healthy.
Thanks for watching. This video was produced by the National Network of Libraries of Medicine. Select the circular channel icon to subscribe to our channel. Select a video thumbnail to watch another video from the channel.